Hey Miller, hey Raccoon, how's it going? I think that's a little too... That's probably a little bit better. Hey Raz, how's it going? What's up, Model Vault? How you been? That's good. They said no rush on the stuff. I had a sort of a slow week, so my Dremel tool also burnt down on me today, so I couldn't get anything ready for stream. Yeah, how's your setup going with everything? Hey, what's up, Terrell? That sounds good. When do you think you're going to be set up to be back to working on kits and everything? That should be good timing. Are you excited to get back to work, or are you more excited about building the setup? Well, hopefully you get it done soon. Get back to work. Hey, what's up, customizer? Well, that's good. At least you're plugging away on Clayface. I had a very unproductive week. 2 days I had to go help my parents. And then this morning my Dremel tool burnt out, so I couldn't Dremel anything to get ready for tonight. So, really haven't done much this week, other than I did work on Hyperion the other day. So the body is finished. I'm just finishing up the base now. And then I'm just going to do some random stuff for a bit. My whole weekend shot because the Dremel tool I use, I'm sending it back in tomorrow for warranty, and the two Home Depots by me don't carry it, so I have to have it delivered on Monday. I figured I'd order a new one. I'll send in the one that I have for warranty, and then I'll have two on hand so I don't keep running into this. So tomorrow, I was going to do some Dremel work and get some stuff ready, but I figured tomorrow I'll have to do either sanding and scope work on stuff. Just happened to be one of those days. But I did get the thing finished, and I have to go buy paint tomorrow for the Apocalypse base, and I can finish him. So those two large items will be done and out the door, so that'll be pretty good. Yeah, I love being busy. Keeps everything moving pretty good. So just whenever I plan things out, it goes to hell. So getting used to it by now. I wanted to do some personal stuff tomorrow, and also I'll pull out cute kits and start like dremeling and prepping them up a bit, but that's not happening. So I think I'll do some, if it's gonna rain tomorrow, I'll do some inside stuff too, so I'll have to be in the garage. It's raining like crazy out right now too. Gonna be happy to get this Hyperion done, so been wanting to get some of this personal stuff out the door, get it in my display case. been kind of quiet. I mean, even though it was a busy week with some my family stuff, overall it's been kind of just quiet. Yeah, I think that's how it goes. I think a lot of people in the hobby, they always, you know, the eyes are always bigger than what they can handle. That's why a lot of guys at these shows end up selling a lot of their stuff they have stored. Because they're like, they're never going to get to it, so they kind of sell off all the kits. Well, it's Solomon Grundy. You could cheat, you know? You could buy yourself a Superman statue, get one of those ones that I'm working on with the Hyperion, rip off the cloth and just bulk them up, change up the face, and you can make a Grundy. Unless you have a certain scale you're trying to follow. Alright, so I just wanted a simple looking base. Should have did this in the beginning, but hopefully I don't scrape it up too bad. I've been doing this with my bases a lot just because it's hard to find little padded circles that are not like friggin' half an inch thick. Hey, what's up, Iceman? I used to have an attachment that could go on these X-Acto with an X-Acto blade on here, but I think it's still in there, but it's actually broken. One day I'll have to pick up a new one so I can make circles just by doing this with the tool. Iceman? Yeah, sometimes, oh, it's Alclad Metallic? Yeah, you kinda, what you might need to do is, like, if you painted up her skin, right? So if you, say you, painted up her skin, but you had a little bit of skin come down here on the boot, you might want to mask off the skin and spray it down, but if it's like raised up and pretty thick, you might need to use a really worn down sandpaper. So like this 3M stuff, the more you use it, the more like it feels a little finer, because brand new 3M is a little bit rougher. But if you have it smoothed down and like worn away a bit, you'll be able to maybe sand it a little bit to kind of take down that little raised area, and then you can touch it up. That's if the metallic in your paint will allow it. Sometimes if it's really fresh paint and rubbery, you'll make a lot of marks and you'll completely screw up the area. Yeah, send me some pictures. I'll look at it real fast. The polished aluminum, I've never used it, but I'll take a look at what's going on. Not the best underneath base stuff, but it works. Let me throw in a little sticker. I need to buy some new ones. Stuff around. Get out of there. Yep, nice dark base, nothing too crazy for him. Alright, let's see if I can get this. Get down. There we go. Oops, it's gonna fall on here. Let me let's find a better setup. So I went ahead and got them all dirtied up. Got the cape on. Dirtied up his pants. I went ahead and did like textured shoes with a lot of dirt on it. It's not the same gold as the armor, but it sort of matches, even though it's different. So, getting a lot of. I set up the camera the other day for should we call it? No, that's not right. I had it set up for my studio for taking a picture. That's a little bit better. No, I didn't want to add too much to the base because he doesn't really do like any kind of crazy like powers or anything like that. Like if you read the story, it's very dark and it's very grainy. So that's kind of like what I was trying to do. I don't really want to have the base too prominent. I want to make sure you're looking at him. But I put in the eye decals. It looks pretty good. Well, he's not really radioactive. I mean, he's not like, even though that's the symbol, he doesn't have, he's basically just Superman. That's basically what he is. That's it. He's all dirty. It's probably hard to see a lot of the dirt on him, but I added a lot of the dirt and grainy to him. Like I said, it's not showing too much in my in this version of him. He was like, he wanted to die. He was old, and I just wanted him to have a dirty, beat up cape, and he's like almost immortal, I guess. And in the storyline, he just wanted to die, and that was like the deal he made with the Earth X storyline, so he could go to the afterlife. So, and I dirtied up a lot of the armor. Like I said, I can't really, it's not showing too much in the camera because I had this set up for the photo studio filming my Psylocke. So, I don't really remember my settings I used to do. Yeah. That's all done, so I just gotta let the base set up. Pretty happy with it. I'll do a video on Sunday. But I got the cape glued in. I glued this piece in there so it's not going anywhere. He just looks old, beat up, and perfectly in tune with that whole graininess of Earth X storyline. Cool. Alright, I'm going to put him aside. Base is still a little wet. Where can I put him? I got to put him up on the shelf real quick. Oh, he's going to hit that. Guess I'll put him on the floor. Okay, so Raz is printing out the stuff, so hopefully in a week or so we'll have all that stuff. Not trying to rush him, just he's working on that stuff. Hey Jacob, unproductive week. Hopefully yours is productive. Well, it was productive, but it wasn't productive. I wish I could have got more done, but Raz has all the files. He's printing everything out, so we're in good shape with that. Let's see. So as far as 7 of 9, I just kind of cleaned her up today. Just did some sanding on the hair, cleaned up around some of these areas, some of the other putty areas I did. I didn't have a chance to really work on her today, but it's alright, Raz. I figured stuff was gonna happen. It's not the end of the world. I mean, even if my Dremel was working today, I still missed 2 days this week helping my parents out, so I really didn't have time to do any side stuff. I figured as much. I got stuff to do. It's just that Friday stream sort of don't have a hell of a lot going on today. Let's see. So as far as Lola, I can't really do much to Lola until we get bugs set up on a base. I still got to contact that guy about the logo. So she's in limbo. Harley I'm still prepping her up, getting her cleaned up. And as far as 7 of 9, can work on the hand a little bit, get some more of this detailed on the hand done, and then probably work on Supergirl's cloud base just to do something tonight. And a lot of the other stuff I have is all garage work. It's like I gotta just spend a day or two in a garage and just start sanding and chopping and prepping and stuff. Like even stuff like here, it's probably hard to see, but there's a whole bunch of support bumps. I gotta sand stuff like that down. So I just got lots of stuff. Yeah, this 709's looking good. I think once we get the console on and I get these hand parts done, she's pretty much ready to go, you know? It's just a matter of fine tuning. So I figure Lola is going to be the one that's going to take a little bit longer because I'm still kind of a lot more to go on her. But once I get this hand set up, I can start, you know, getting everything else kind of cleaned up, and then I could just sit like days that I have to get in the garage to do all this prep work for kits and stuff. I can start working on these items too, and sanding and priming, sanding and priming. It's all that tedious stuff where I need like 2 days of just garage work. But I just haven't had those days yet. Where's the, what did I do with the hand? So what happened is Wednesday and Thursday I had to go up and help my parents, and I had to take my father to the doctors for stuff. And the problem is traveling up there is about an hour and 20 minutes, and then an hour and 20 minutes back. So I pretty much wasted the whole, well, not wasted day, it's just I didn't have any time to do anything afterwards. But I did work on Hyperion, so I figured what the hell, get that done. Get off here, this chunk is bothering me. See. Yeah, so I think what I really need to do is I mean, I gotta still add a little bit more wrinkles, and I gotta get this cleaned up and clean up a lot of stuff up here, but it's the legs that are really gotta get cleaned up, and that's just stuff I have to really mess with. Alright, let me look at your stuff, Iceman. Let me see. Oh, it's just a little bit of an overspray. It's not really that bad. Yeah, I would just, if you can, mask off the blue. It's real, let me get an example for you. Let's see here. Do I have something that I can show you on? Yeah, I could show you. It's not that, it's very simple. So, this is the Apocalypse head, right? So really, all you need to do is, you do have silly putty, right? Like if you have some silly putty, just go over to blue, right? Just go over the blue area. take your silly putty. Just go very, you know. You know, and then just make, and you can actually lay it, you know, you can actually just lay it over the rest of the item, and just very lightly, just hit it with a very light, like, you know, spray over that edge, and then just pull it off, and you should be done. That's all you have to do. Yeah. I thought you sprayed like a really thick amount. That's just a little tiny overspray. That's simple. I it happens to me all the time sometimes, you know. Sometimes I'll spray something, and, you know, I'm like, oh crap, I gotta fix up that, like, especially like flesh tone, like say like flesh tone, like right here I screwed up a little bit, so sometimes what I'll do is I'll go over the boot a bit, and I'll just spray like right there real quick and just touch that little area up, and then pull it off, and it's matched. That's all. Yeah, that's a minor thing. That's just a common stupid crap I go through every once in a while too. Sometimes too, like if you're spraying like a skin or something, and you forget to hit this little area here, and then when you pick off the mask, you realize there's like a little bit of like primer showing, so you got to put the mask down and go hit it again. Ah, excuse me. Whew. Alright, gotta get my pictures up. Yeah, the only problem with paper, did you just like lay the paper on there and not really? Because what happens is with the airbrush, it kind of like pulls the paper up and it flaps. If you're going to do that, I would suggest you not get paper and get like a sheet of plastic. If you have any like plastic stuff by, you know, something a little bit more durable that wouldn't flat with the air. And also try not to overspray too. Do it lighter spraying. Sometimes a lighter spray going slower will be better than hitting it with the airbrush and like blowing it, and then the paper goes up and down. Hey, what's up, Scott? So, Iceman, you sent the second email with the blue and a lighter blade. Is that the same blade, or is it different blade? Oh, okay. Oh, you got a 3D printer? Cool. I would say in probably another year or two, I think everyone's going to have a 3D printer. Yeah, they've been fighting the whole 3D printer thing for a while because they claim that you can print weapons and all that stuff. Honestly, I think it's a little bit too late for them to do any kind of laws because it's everybody already has them. So how are they going to stop people from having them? You know. I mean, it's honestly, it's not even. They claim it's about the whole weapon thing, but it's honestly not. They just know that 3D printing's gonna put a lot of people out of business. You know, and if everyone has a 3D printer in their house, they can just find files and print stuff, and you won't need to go to the store for stupid stuff. So, you know, just like the internet. When the internet came out, it went so fast and furious that they couldn't control the internet, and now they're trying hard as hell to control it with censoring everything. So that's what they're trying to do with printers. Yeah, it's don't let them fool you. It has nothing to do with weapons. They claim it's weapons. That's an excuse. I mean, you don't even need a. I mean, you can mold a gun with, you know, mold and resin and stuff, and you can still make a ceramic weapon. You don't need a printer. That's why they make all those movies with those space 3D printers, and you're not allowed to have that file in space. Blah blah blah. I don't know if you ever seen those like sci-fi movies. Yeah, it's control. That's all it is. You know. Like, for instance, we'll just, you know, like, say, you know how to do stuff, honestly, you know, like, say, this item here, you know, this, sound bar I have, for instance, say there's a button or a piece here that breaks. If you 3D scan it and you measure it out, you could print a new piece and replace it on your own. Therefore, why would you need to go buy another one, you know? And that's the mentality of what they're trying to stop. You know, they don't want you to be able to make your own things in your house. They want you to keep going to the store and buying stuff. It's all it really is. Because if somebody created a file to print, you know, like an arm bar, you know, like an arm bar for my magnifying glass, you know, and you could 3D print your own thing, and that's what they want to stop. Yeah, same thing, motor. You know, even car parts. Like, say you wanted to put a new, you know, buttons on your car part, or you want to print up another thing. I mean, it's endless with 3D printing, and they want to stop that. The only reason why I'm saying is because they wrote a lot of articles that they try to hide from people. I mean, if you think about it, look what's happening already with statues. I mean, the amount of STL files that are out there is unbelievable right now. I was just talking with my friend this morning about it. I mean, there are so many STL statue files out there that literally there's too many that people could pick and choose from. Therefore, the more and more people sculpt and the more STL files you get, you won't need to go to a licensed company, you know? So Disney and DC, how are they going to stop all this already? It's already out there. You know, like say you're a Donald Duck fan. There's like Donald Duck files out there you can print like crazy and paint yourself. You don't need to go to the Disney store and pay $500 for a Donald Duck for a ceramic piece when you can print it out for $30. So that's what it comes down to. But like they said, the genie's out of the bottle. It's done. Like Scott said, it's never going to be able to stop it. Well, I don't know if you guys saw, my friend sent me it. I guess Sideshow asked a question if everybody was interested in doing, what is it, crowdfunding for obscure characters. So, like, say, you know, a certain amount of people want Solomon Grundy, you know, but Sideshow's not going to be able to do 1,000 pieces. They can only do 30. So they get 30 people to get into a crowdfunding, and then they make Solomon Grundy for 3 of them, you know? Whereas the comic book industry is doing the same thing. If you think about it, there's crowdfunding for comic books like crazy now. A lot of the artists that were working for DC and Marvel, they're making their own comics now. Amanda Conner and Jimmy Plamonti are doing it. A couple other artists are doing it. So, crowdfunding's where it's going to become now. There's only so many Harley Quinns and Supermans you can produce and sell for a company. But that's where we're at. Really, Raz? Well, my college buddy, he's into Transformers big time, and they make 3D files for G.I. Joe heads and Transformer guns and weapons, and you know, it's like if you have an old Transformer but you're missing the gun, instead of going out there and paying like $50 for the missing gun at like a toy store, you can just have the file printed and you can print out your own gun that was missing for the toy. If you're not like one of those people where you have to have the original. So it's pretty crazy what's going on. Silly putty? I don't know. It depends on your brand. Some metallic should be fine, but if your silly putty is very tacky and it doesn't pull in the paints a lot, then maybe you're gonna have to test. I know my silly putty, you know, regular silly putty that I use, as long as you mix it up pretty well, all those little particles become fine particles and they stay in it. So you see all this paint that's here? Like if you were to put this over something that's tacky, it'll pull in that paint. But if you take the silly putty and you mush it up pretty well, like all those particles break up in the silly putty and it shouldn't really pull out. So that's why whenever I you know, put silly putty on an item, I always kind of mush it up. I get it soft with the heat of my fingers, and then it kind of breaks up all that paint. Yeah, as long as it's not tacky and it dried, it's not something that you just freshly did, and it feels pretty dry to the touch, you should be okay, you know. But you got to get used to your paints and your silly putties, and you have to start learning what can and can't work. Yeah, 2 days to cure. Are you doing straight out of the bottle? Unless that's maybe the area you live in. Okay, that's a possibility. Like a lot of the times when I do my stuff, it pretty much, I don't go back to it for maybe a day or two later anyway. I like to space out a lot of my painting. So yeah, maybe that is. Liquid gold? What liquid gold? Oh, Vallejo. Yeah, I noticed that too with some of the Vallejo liquid gold and silver. They're good for doing like a very tiny area at the very end of the project, but they don't seem to last all that long. Like when I did the like the little skull on top of what's her name, Mystique's forehead. I did the gold with that, and it worked great because it was at the very end of the project. But see, some of these metallics, those Vallejos and Alclads, you have to seal it, but once you seal it, it goes to hell. I've yet to find like a a chrome or a good metallic that doesn't really like a mirror type metallic that doesn't have to be sealed. But you still have to seal it though, right? Well, if it's working, then keep doing it. Hey, what's up, Hangerbird? How's it going? How's it out there in Texas? Hot and humid? at least getting some good food out there though. Well, that's what I'm saying. You get some nice barbecue out there. Go home with like 40 pounds tacked onto you. I never tried a lot of the other Alclad stuff. I just stuck with the pale gold and the chrome. So if you use them, let me know how it works out. Should say in the bottle if it needs it. Usually the Alclad stuff has it on the bottom. It might also just be a really nice smooth base too. Like the pale gold, as long as the base is really, really smooth, it goes on anything really. Okay, I just need to sand that down a little bit, do the thumb and the fingertips, and that hand will be set up. Well, I gotta order some resin so I can start filling in and make some generic bases. I glue this body on and I just gotta fill it in with some resin. I also gotta order more glue. I'm almost out of glue. Even though I use glue to fill this, to glue this on, and I want to pour in resin to make it solid, I have a funny feeling I might have missed some spots and it'll just start seeping all over the place. So, but I'm going to take off this belt anyway, so I'm not really worried about the belt. Well, the reason why I'm not going to leave it hollow is because I'm going to take off the belt and I'm going to redo the chest. And the minute you take off that spot in there to try to redo the chest and not have resin in there, it's a nightmare to deal with. And I like everything to be solid and heavy, so that's just me. And the other reason why I don't like to leave stuff hollow is because I had a lot of hollow stuff back in the day. So if you have something hollow, depending on how thick it is, when your item gets cold and hot, it expands and contracts. What happens is your paints will crack on you. I had a flash bust, which was probably like about this big. A guy did a hollow cast, like a roto cast. It's about the same thickness as this. And after I did all my chrome work, and I did the chrome silver, and I did the candy coat red, and it looked really cool. What happened was after about a year, it just cracked everywhere. because it just expands and contracts whether it's cold or you have the AC on, it gets hot, or in the winter time, and then it all cracked to all hell. So hollow stuff should still be either filled in with foam or made solid for long term. So that's kind of one of my life lessons with the hobby, that I rather put a little extra effort in making it solid than have it crack on me down the line again. I'm going to pick up another container of Smooth Cast 300 from Smooth On. It's the same resin I use for all my generic bases and stuff and fill things in. If you watch the video of me filling in the Supergirl kit, this kit here, I filled this all in with that resin, so the whole thing is nice and solid, hard as a rock. Freeform air is okay, but personally I rather fill it all in with resin and make it solid. Hey, what's up, Raphael? Yes, Iceman, all resin does. Now, it might not be a lot, but it will, you know, just like a house, you know, like your house, sometimes you hear creaking and stuff. That's because hot, cold, it's settling, you know. But yeah, all resin pretty much does. Like I said, you don't have to, but me, I'm going to, because that's just, I wanna make sure everything's solid. It's a recent one, Hangerbird. I put it up, I think a week or two ago. Now, I'm not saying it's gonna crack on you in like a week. It took about a year for the flash bus that I worked on to do all that cracking. So I didn't even realize it because it was up at the top of my shelf and everything. And then all of a sudden, when I went and looked at it closer, I was like, what the hell is all this shit? Smooth On also makes a foam. It's a two-part foam where, so say this item is here, so you can mix the A and B together, mix it up, and pour it in. And what happens is it's a foam, just like the spray can foam you get from Home Depot. And what it'll do is it'll foam up the whole item, and then it'll, if you tape it, it'll come up, and then you can cut it off, and you can have a foam in there, and that'll make it solid too. But for the same amount of money of solid resin versus the foam, I would only use the foam for like a life-size bust. So if you have one of those life-size head busts, they're hollow, and you turn it upside down, you pour that foam in there from Smooth On and it'll fill it in. They have a couple different grades of the foam where if you mix up a little bit this much, a certain grade of foam will only expand that much. But if you mix up the same amount in another foam, it'll go that much. So I've never used that stuff, but they do have it. Oh, okay, Hanger. Yeah, it's up there. You can always, it's not going anywhere. It's on the channel. Yeah, you know, the resin might be fine and your paints might not crack, but like I said, I personally want to make everything solid and secure, especially if I'm doing something for a client. You know, I don't want them to get an item from me and then all of a sudden, you know, 3 years down the line, the item cracks all on them because it wasn't solid. So I'll take the extra step for people. And also for my own peace of mind, for my own stuff. Like I said, I'm doing all this work on this item, and then like say 4 years down the line, all of a sudden the paint's cracking because, you know, it was a really hot day that day and I didn't turn the AC on, or say my AC went out and I couldn't get it repaired. So it's getting really hot in the house, and then when the AC gets fixed, I put it on, you know, the item starts to expand and contract a little. So if it keeps doing it over and over and over, you're going to run into issues. You know, a lot of the guys in the hobby told me that, you know, whenever they get a hollow item back in the day when it was rotocasted, they would always fill it up with foam because it would crack on them. So, you know, and 3D printing is still fairly new, so we don't know the ins and outs of how things are going to work long term. We don't know if certain resins are going to deteriorate over like 4 or 5 years time, or certain resins are going to last forever. I mean, it's still new technology, you know. Like the 2-part resin from Smooth On, they've been working on that stuff for years and years and years, so we know how durable and how long it's going to last. Whereas cheaper resins, I've seen in the hobby where you make a solid bust like that with a cheaper resin, and even though you mixed it really, really, really good, in like 5 years time it starts leaking like crazy because it was not, like, the chemicals are cheap chemicals. So that's another thing too. Resin quality. So it's just something to keep in mind, you know. I'm not saying it's going to, but we still don't know how it's going to. I mean, hell, you saw what happened with that one base in my video for Cyclops. I put in that water putty to fill it in at the bottom, and that resin absorbed all that moisture. So who's to say that if you have a hollow item and over time that hollow area starts absorbing moisture and all of a sudden your item pops and breaks, you know? That's another thing that's kind of in the back of my mind. So like I said, I play it safe. For me personally, for my peace of mind, for anything I do for someone, I'll take the extra steps. You know, you take an extra $20, $30 step to fill it up with a chemical or resin and last, you know, 10 years instead of 3. Yeah, but those old kits, man, I feel sorry for people. You know, you sit there, you prep it, you paint it, you do all that stuff, you put it on your shelf, and then you go look at it like 3 months later, and all of a sudden you see like it's just dripping paint coming down, or some nasty shit's coming down. It's all because the resin wasn't mixed correctly and it was a cheap resin. I mean, that's what you know, when people are like, how do you fix it? It's like, you don't. It's a done deal. I had a kit like that one time. I felt sorry for the guy. He sent me a kit, and I started painting it, and I primed it, and I painted it, and it started leaking. And I told the guy, I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I did my research. I contacted the guys in the hobby. They're like, well, it wasn't mixed correctly, or it's a cheap resin, blah, blah, blah. So they told me to Dremel out that area. I Dremeled out that area. I filled it in. I primed it again. And like the next day, it's just leaking again. So at that point, I had to tell the client, like, this is a done deal. We can't do anything more with this. So it's either you get another one, cast it up, or throw it away. But that was a lot of stuff back in the day with, you know, when the hobby was still fairly new and people were making their own copies. It would sweat resin? Was it still sweating resin after you primed it? Yeah, I'm not saying that I'm not saying like the leaking resin from the items. It wasn't like it was dripping wet, like, you know, you pour water on it. But it happens over time, slowly. So, like, it's kind of hard to explain. But what happened with those items that I did is there would be a little bit of a tacky area, like it would look a little shiny, just a little tiny shiny. But then after a couple months, it would start to sort of seep down that shiny little drip, you know? Now it wasn't like dripping to the point where, like, oh my god, it's like pouring resin out of there. It's just a very slowly seep. And then if you put your finger on that paint area, it would be tacky and it would rip off the primer and everything. And then if you dremeled out that little area and you filled it in with some, you know, Aves, and then you reprime it, you don't know if the other areas are sort of like leaking. So it all depends. You know, it could be leaking underneath the primer, but the primer you use has a candy shell, and it's not leaking through the primer yet, you know? Just keep an eye on it, you know, just keep an eye on it, see how it's working. If you don't have any problems, then you don't have any problems, but just never know. As of right now, this frozen 4K stuff, which is this stuff right here, is my favorite 3D resin. I don't know what other types there are out there. I haven't, you know, the one that was with that Cyclops kit that was a complete mess. I'm not sure what resin was used for that, but I think it was a very, very cheap, like, no-name brand resin. But this frozen 4K stuff is absolutely phenomenal. The reason why I like this 4K frozen stuff, because once it's cured, it feels just like the smooth on smooth cast, but a little bit more durability to it, which I like. So for now on, if I ever do a 3D print for myself or a custom, I would like to have the 4K stuff done. So like if say my friend stops doing 3D printing and I find somebody else, or if I get my own printer, I'll only be using this stuff. Yeah, I've heard of the 8K stuff, but I haven't seen that yet in person. So far, I like this 4K stuff, so. Maybe because it's gets a little bit more detail. I don't know. For now, I think this stuff is kind of my go-to until they stop making it. Like this little piece here had like a little bit of an air bubble, it just broke off. It's a little fragile here, but I'll toughen that up. But see, this part's really thin, but this part over here is thicker and it's like really durable, so I like it. Let me wash these brushes out. Yeah, I think that's because it's really, really thin. But I think the thicker that 4K stuff is, the better. I don't know. Like I said, I've dropped those like cans of the 4K stuff, and it didn't break any of the fingers, which was crazy. Whereas like a polystone from Sideshow, if you drop the finger from like this far down, it just snaps and breaks off because it's you know, mixed with stone powder. Hell, for all we know, this 3D printing resin's probably the most toxic stuff on the planet. We, you know, we're just kind of like drinking it. Alright. Alright, so since I don't have anything else really to work on, like I said, everything's got to go in the garage. I think I'm just going to do her cloud base real quick. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is they're doing all that homegrown meat stuff, or they're 3D printing it, or whatever they're doing in vats. That's probably what it's all in the fast food food anyway. You wouldn't give it to your dog, but they probably fed you that in high school and you didn't even know it. So... you know, when you had chicken's finger day, that probably wasn't chicken. You might have thought it was chicken. It might have tasted like chicken. Gonna bust out some freeform air. stuff gets really, really tacky. So I think I'm gonna wrap up her body a bit. Even though I still got to sand down the body, it's got even though Iceman did a good job at cleaning this up, there's still some like lines from certain areas. You could kind of see I've been sanding those down, and I had to kind of sand down the leg. But he did a good job on the Superman symbol. That came out pretty good. But I expected blowing it up there was going to be some issues, so. Yeah, that's okay. Like I said, I'm doing a little bit here and there on it. You know, just kind of whenever I get free time messing with it. It's just one of those filler items. Again, I just love having like lots of filler side stuff. I just hate wasting material. So what I gotta do is pop out some kits and start getting them ready, so this way when I have extra material I can start fixing up those kits. Yeah, I think this was more of like made for like a small little print for like a board game or something like that. That's why the file was only like $1.50. Something like that, but I figure I just do a cloud base, keep cleaning it up, and then I can paint it up one day. I just like the idea. It had that kind of really cool animated look to her, so I figured it'd be a nice, cool one of a kind for myself. So I think when I get some cash together soon, I'm gonna have to order freeform air and resin. I hate ordering resin right before the winter because if I open it up, you know, resin can't really last more than a year once you open it, I guess. So I gotta get a bunch of stuff ready to be filled in with resin before I order it. But freeform air lasts, but I'm down to not much left. But you can't beat the price on the freeform air. You know, you get two 2-gallon kits for I think $100 some, $120 now or something, 110 plus shipping. But yeah, I'm down to just enough, not much left. I can't pull out the model because I can't show it on YouTube, but I'm doing a practice model. So what happened was I filled in the freeform air and it's hollow. And because the body of the figure was about that big, and I put in the freeform air, and when I walked away, because it needs to get the gas and escape, it came out the neck, and it came squeezing out the neck like a, like a toothpaste, bottle squeezing out the toothpaste. So freeform air expands in a closed area. So that's why I'm not really a fan of this stuff for sculpting. It's good for bases, but if you want to make like an armature, it sort of does expand a little bit. They said it doesn't, but when it's in a hollow area and it needs to escape, it expands. So probably going to be using the rest of this for this sculpt base. It's getting kind of crusty anyway. I've had it for most of the summer, I think now. I think I had it most of the summer. Not baking anything, we're making a cloud base for the Supergirl. Something simple and stupid looking. Nothing too big. Just a little bit of clouds. And that is it. Your hands hurt watching what? Mixing this stuff? It's really soft. It's not actually like it. If this was Aves, then I'd be tired right away. But this is like so damn soft. It's like mixing marshmallow. So it's really not that hard to mix. Trust me. It's like just soft marshmallows, and you're just kind of mushing it together. It's like there's not really much to it at all. Except it just gets very tacky and it leaves a nasty oil residue on your hand. Like if you were to mix this up with your hands, or even after you're done mixing it and you use a little bit in your hands, I would never touch a painted item for the rest of the day. Because it just leaves that residue on your hands all day long. But at the end of the day, if you take a good shower and you're really like, you know, cleaned up, it'll get rid of it. But you don't want to play with this stuff and then work on a painted item. Now, I don't know if I'm supposed to use water for this stuff. That's probably the mistake I'm doing. But I do it anyway, because I think they have a freeform air chemical to smooth it, but I really don't want to purchase more for just simple stuff with this. And it kills your brushes too if you use a paintbrush. Destroys them. Come on. See, it's like, it's on the glove and it just makes it very, like, slippery. Yeah, Aves is a lot easier, but the problem is this much Aves is very expensive. Like, this right here is like 1/3 of a 4-pound container, you know? And just to try to make a generic cloud base, it's not worth using all that Aves. This is Freeform Air Hangerbird. It's the same company that uses that I use resin for. Hey, what's up, JC? Did you say part-time? Yeah, I don't think I have enough freeform air for the base. Oh, physical therapy. Oh, what did you have? Surgery on your back? I forget. Or is this something that we don't know about? Oh, that's not good. You sound exactly like what my aunt went through. My aunt had her crystals in her ear bursted. So she had vertigo and she couldn't stand up straight and everything. So she went to the doctors, they did all those tests, and they found out her crystals popped. So it sounds dissimilar. Is that something would happen to you, or are you having other issues? Because she had to do rehab once they started to heal up. Gloves. Yeah, that's kind of what my aunt had. She had an inner ear issue where her crystals in her inner ear cracked or popped. Sounds exactly the same thing she went through. The doctors did all those tests. They had the headgear on her. They did all those tests, and then finally one doctor came in and said, "Why are they doing all these tests? It's your inner ear. Your crystals cracked or popped." Ah, okay. No, I'm just saying that's kind of what she went through. It just sounded similar. Getting old, man. Stop getting old. Well, I use it because I'm always looking down now for sculpting. So next year I got to do a change in the garage. So instead of looking down, I got to set up a desk and a chair where I'm looking straight on when sanding and dremeling now. So I got to do a major change next summer in the garage because I'm starting to get those neck pinches. So it's all about posture. I got to kind of fix it all up. I do exercises too. This guy, the massage therapist I go to, he works on like MMA fighters. He's the one who fixed my shoulder. So I see him 4 times a year. So he has me do certain exercises in the shower where I kind of like put up my arm and I let the hot water go down, and I do stretches with my back and stuff. So now what I try to do is whenever I'm like painting something, I try to look at the clock and like every 20 minutes or half hour sort of get up and stretch. Because I used to like sit there and look at something painted for like 5 hours. So now I'm trying to get a little bit better with that. Telling you, man, it's old age. Back in the day, you could sit there and play a video game for 10, 15 hours, get up and act like something, you know, nothing happened. Now you look at the TV the wrong way and you have to be rushed to the hospital. Old age, man. It's creeping up on us. Hell, just sneezing these days now, I feel like I need to be rushed to the hospital. I used to laugh at people. Oh yeah, wait till you get older. Now, you know, you start hitting that age, and you're like, damn it. Yeah, you say that now, but wait. See, the thing is, I accept it. I know too many people who can't accept it. I'm accept it. I know it's coming, so I don't care. What are you doing, Iceman? Sorry, I can't put my glasses on to see that close right now. Darth Vader? You mean Lord Helmet or Darth Vader? Hold on. Whoa. I need to use a... this brush since I haven't used this ever. A professional job. That's all I ever do. I mean, you want me to do something for you? I'm always down to do work. The issue is trying to find the time to take on new projects. That's my issue. So it's never that I don't want to do it, and it's not that talking me into it. It's just trying to find the time and catching up on projects. That's my issue. Well, I don't like to take on small scale stuff like 1/7. 1/6 is sort of kind of pushing it. I try to stay closer to the 1/5, 1/4 stuff. I just don't like working on smaller stuff because it's hard to see and I feel I don't do a great job with it. You know, I just try to be honest with people, and I try not to say, "Oh, I'm gonna do it." You know, I just try to stick to my wheelhouse, I guess you can say. But the best thing I could say is hit me up through my email. Show me what you're looking to do. We can talk about it. See when I might be available next year. You know, that's the best thing I can say. Well, Lord Helmet's better than Vader, so I'm sorry, but I don't care what you Star Wars fans say. Lord Helmet is a better villain. Any of that Wonderfest stuff in you know, Tokyo and stuff, it'll all be recasted and put up on those sites like crazy. Most of that stuff is, you know, because of the rights over there. So if it's something you're looking for, it'll probably end up on, you know, recasted and to be a kit available on one of those sites. Give it time. You check that E2406 site. Usually they're always posting new stuff every day. Am I making a cloud base? Yeah, it's just something stupid and simple for nothing too crazy. It's gonna go with like the other cloud bases that's going to be used for the custom with her I'm gonna do next year, and then also like with the Power Girl stuff. So they all kind of sort of have a theme going. I'm going to paint it blue and white. I'll show you the base that I have. That's, you know, in a second once I'm kind of done. That's the downside with this freeform. Even though you put baby powder on it, it still goes right through the baby powder and the oil sort of sticks out. But I'm going to put a piece of saran wrap in a second or two. I just kind of want to shape it up a little bit more before it starts to harden on me. The thicker freeform is, the faster it cures. Alright. What I'm going to do is get a piece of saran wrap, put it on the bottom of her foot. I need a bigger piece. Go right through that piece. Sort of just and this way, once it's all cured up, I should be able just to kind of pop it right out without sticking. Might have to sand some of the edges, but I mean, I could do the explosion, but I wanna keep it like the sort of like the Power Girl base type stuff. Even though I'm not doing swirly clouds on this one, so I want to have them sort of the same colors. The problem is I would do sort of that swirly look with it, but the freeform air doesn't really allow me to kind of do it that much. I have to, one day I'm going to have to get that stuff from Smooth On, the freeform air thinner or something, and see if that allows me to work with this stuff better. I'll have to look into it. And the other part too is I got to see how far the cape comes down, if I need to add more. But like I said, I got to order more of this stuff, so trying not to over extend myself on some of my personal stuff, because it's just money wise. This is more of a fun little side item, whereas I don't want to put that much into it. Just kind of a simple little cloud and put on my shelf. The other customs I'm working on for my personal collection that are more important, I'm going to do a little bit of the extra steps, you know, and make things a little bit better. But for something like this, it's kind of just goof around with. Today feels like a hot chocolate day, even though it's not that cold out. It still feels like hot chocolate season's around the corner. I know all the pumpkin spice latte stuff is out there now, but we're getting ready for the hot chocolate season. Guys, got all your Halloween decorations up? Down by me, there's a couple, I guess, really people that love Halloween stuff, and their houses are littered with stuff. I never put any decorations up. They don't do the clearance stuff by me anymore. What they do is they pretty much just take everything down and they shove it in the storage, and then they pull it out back next year. At least the Home Depot's by me. They don't really do like sales anymore, clearance items. The minute the season's over, it just goes in storage for next year. And it's the same shit that didn't sell this year. It's there next year. I think they're at the point now where they're like, screw it, let's not overstock on stuff and just sell it again next year. I mean, they'll do it with candy, because, you know, candy goes bad. They can't, except candy corn. They can save that for 30 years. It'll never go bad. But as far as decorations go, even Christmas stuff, it's they'll pull it down right after Christmas, and then it'll just go right into storage. No sales. I guess they figure they can make more money by just holding on to it till next year and not overstock. Because most of the people I know that do Halloween stuff already have all their decorations ready, you know? So I don't really see them buying new stuff. It's like the same thing every year. At least by me. Like the guy down right, like 3 houses away from me, he has this giant skeleton. He puts out his little fences. And it's the same thing every year. It's starting to get hot to the touch. And I think with the economy, everybody's saving money too, so Whatever they got in storage, that's what's going out. I wouldn't be surprised if people put out Christmas decorations, but make it look like Halloween stuff, and then repaint it again for Christmas, you know? Yeah, my father and brother would always do the Christmas decorations in the cold. You know, it's like freezing out. They're out there stapling lights on. I was like, yeah, I don't care. I'm playing video games. I'm not into all that stuff. I love the people that are putting up the decorations now. Only because it's Halloween's what, in a few weeks, and then it's over and done with. It's actually funny. It was before the lockdowns. There was a house like about 5 streets over, and this guy made this really funny Halloween decoration. He put an old car in front of the fence, and he put a Jason body on it to look like somebody hit Jason. But somebody in the town complained that there was an accident, so the police ran over there, and they were laughing their asses off because it was a Jason Halloween decoration. Somebody actually thought there was an accident. It was hilarious. But the town made the people take it down because people couldn't understand it was a decoration. I mean, it was a Jason mask, and he had a fake chainsaw in his hand, and they actually thought it was an accident. It was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing over that one. They even had a news crew here, and it was people were like, it's Jason. Even I drove by it and I saw the Halloween mask, and I was like, yeah, that's a funny funny decoration there. You know, it's Halloween. There's decorations against the fence. There's pumpkins, and there was a car that he just butted up against the fence, and it was Jason, you know, and people actually thought it was an accident. It was there all day long, and they actually thought it was, oh my god. I sat there and like, why can't people just laugh at it and just walk away? Yeah, people are stupid. It was just... Hell, even if it was an accident, people would take out their phones and film it anyway. It's not like anyone would help anybody. Alright, this is starting to get very, very hot and also starting to cure up. What I'll probably do is I'll get my foam sand and I'll sand it down once it's all cured up. Smooth it out a little bit. But simple little base, that's pretty much all I'm looking to do for it. Nothing too crazy. Let's get this baby powder out of here before it causes sinus infection. Okay, so freeform air. I use this brush, and it's kind of, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's gotten it gets caked up in the brush. Like it's got that oily residue all over it, and it's hard to get out. So I'm going to see if this stuff works. I don't know. It's an experiment. Watch it like blow up my house. So this is the brush cleaner restorer from Winsor Newton. I wonder if this stuff will actually like work as like an acetone and clean up that residue. I just put a little bit in here. I don't know if it's gonna work. But I'm wondering if this will actually clean this stuff up a bit. A little bit. I don't know. We'll see next week. We'll see how it looks. Sorta has the residue on it. Let me wash it out in the sink again, see what happens. It looked like it cleaned it up pretty well. Maybe I gotta use the brush restore after when I use brushes on freeform. Looks like it cleaned it up pretty decent. Well, I'll know tomorrow if this is hard as a rock and it doesn't get smooth again like this. Then I know the residue didn't come off. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll let you guys know next week if it got destroyed or not. But yeah, that's the base. Pretty simple, straightforward. So like I said, once it cures up, I'll grab one of my rougher, the medium sandpaper, and what I'll do is I'll sand it all down and smooth it up, kind of clean it up the best I can, and that's pretty much a simple little cloud base, nothing too crazy. I think what I need to do is put it in the garage though, kind of air it out a bit. Yeah, happy little clouds, not a happy little tree. Can't fit a tree in there. The other thing too is when I put this foot here in the cape. I don't think the cape will hit that there. It shouldn't. But it should work out pretty fine. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So as far as things are going next week, if Raz stops goofing off, so everybody in chat tell Raz to stop goofing off and get the stuff done. No, I'm just kidding, Raz. No rush. Hopefully, even if we don't have that stuff next week, I'll have something else ready for working on. Whether it's a kit I'll get cleaned up next week and start pinning and prepping. Got to pull out a couple kits. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Yeah, that's fine, Raz. Like I said, if you get it done this weekend, cool. If you do it, it's not a big deal. You know, if I get the stuff, even if I got the stuff on Friday, I'll try my best to prep up a bunch of stuff for the Friday night and see where I'm at. Yeah, Raz is being selfish doing his own stuff. He's not helping us. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, I'm gonna call it a night. Like I said, I wish I had some other stuff, but it wasn't that good of a week. But yeah, we'll see how I can get everything ready for next week. Even if the stuff doesn't come ready by Friday, and I'm not really ready to work on the stuff, I'll get some other stuff ready for the night to work on. Whether it's a couple kits I'll pull out of boxes and stuff like that. Just kind of plug away on everything. So I'm going to get this cleaned up and out of here because there's too much baby powder dust. And that's where I'm going to call it a night. But alright, you guys have a good weekend. Hopefully you guys get your own personal stuff done. Enjoy the weather if it's nice out. And I'll see you next